race, as you can see on your screen. Stay Green versus Sync Esports here, the title fight here for King of the Hill week number 4. These two teams competing to try to take victory and claim the throne. Currently, Sync Esports sits in it, but Stay Green wants it back. Anyways, here we are, moving along. Joined by Pandy once again as my co-caster. We got the bands coming out here against Sir Bensington into Ophelia, Tundra, and a Parasite. Sir Bensington, by the way, banned all 3 games so far. Again, apparently he's a hero that's kind of just jumped on recently, and Stay Green especially just doesn't want to deal with it. So, Pestilence first pick, though, into Tempest. They can't kind of pick Parasite here, so this is actually going to be interesting now to see where Stay Green goes.
Yeah, I mean, the most common option usually is Keeper.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, the other option, of course, is just to run 2 dual lanes. It's just, and I'm more expecting SG. Actually, no, SG does run a lot of Keeper, to be honest. I know Minus plays it a lot, so I wouldn't doubt that they might pick it here, but they might save it for the last pick, obviously. Hellborn probably not going to go Keeper Tempest. They could, but not very common from Sync Esports lineup in general. So they're going to get that Pestilence, and they love that Pestilence, so they're going to get it once again in this game. Hopefully they don't run it as too hard of a carry, or that they just make sure that the other lanes are a bit stronger this time around, because I feel that's kind of what they lacked last game.
Yeah.
But they're going to be choosing who they want to pick right now, and it's going to... I mean, they have a lot of options with that. Bubbles is always on the board for Limp. They have that jungler option if they think the Sync is going to go for the Suicide Keeper. But, yeah, they're going to go for that Rhapsody, and it's a good decision from them.
They also got the Rhapsody option. And yeah, no doubt. Again, game number 1 especially, Z-Freak did a great job with Rhapsody. Some huge protective Melody ultimates to save the day and ultimately helping to lead them to victory. So, makes sense there. Also, definitely just a great partner in general with a hero like Pestilence for the meta matchup. So again, it's really curious though what kind of strategy ultimately we're going to see for Stay Green. Will they go the Keeper, or will they just go for the 2-2-1 strategy here? Maybe even some kind of tri-lane. They're usually not known for doing that, but it could be possible. Sync Esports though, their response, again, Keeper as well, also even a option for them perhaps, so wouldn't be out of the question. They go Master of Arms here for their follow-up pick, so they get the support option out of the way. Also some counter push if needed. Coming out here, so
exactly. I mean, if they're guessing that SG is probably going to go for a Keeper pick, and Rhapsody hints at the pushing lineup as well, just a bit. So, Amway just a great pick overall. They can obviously pick that Tundra, but SG is not really going to go all in with pushing anyway. They have that Bubbles as an option if they want to pick it. But Amway just a good pick overall, especially because I think Sync honestly is one of the other teams besides Reason Gaming that does run Amway sometimes as a carry. Although it's not the strongest, and I don't think that it's very common. So we'll see how they choose to run that. 95% it's a support. Okay, yeah, I was about to say they could pick it up with a Puppet Master, but SG grabs it out of their hands right before they can do that.
Take it away. So both a pickup for themselves, powerful one, but also take away the option, of course, from Sync Esports. So kind of the logic there from Stay Green, perhaps. So back to Sync Esports again. Where do they ultimately end up here? The ultimate question mark. And, I'd be like to see something like a War Beast even. It seems like it's been a while since we've seen a War Beast. And, Tempest War Beast. And we got Master of Arms to help with push even. And could be a powerful lineup or possibly to see. So,
I kind of never thought about this till now, but I think that Drunken Master is a really good pick against Puppet, just because the ulti pretty much nullifies his whole CC ability.
That's true.
And I know that Sync likes to pick that hero a lot. Funds just actually started playing it about like 1 or 2 weeks ago, and he's getting pretty good with the hero. So that could be a possibility for them to pick up. I don't know if they're going to go for it now. I mean, with other picks that they have now is something to get dual mid with, but to be honest, they could go for a Gauntlet or something. We'll see. I don't know if they're going to really show their Suicide yet. I don't really think a Grinix or a Scout would be very beneficial this game.
Yeah.
Yes!
There you go. Doesn't that feel so good when you just call it?
Yeah.
They could have gone Berserker, too. I mean, that could have been a decent
true.
counter option to Puppet Master. But, Drunken Master's fine, I guess, as far as that goes. So, into the banning stage now. Again, both teams using a good amount of extra time there. But in the banning we go, and you see Stay Green right off the bat. They take out Empath, so... I guess maybe it has something to do with the Drunken Master pick there, but they're going to make sure that they don't get a hold of Empath this time around. And you see the torture response.
And yeah, Empath's just good here with Drunken. So this pretty much means that they're going to be doing a Drunken dual mid with MOA, or they're going to be able to open up a lot of other options for Suicide and short lane. And that's what I like about Sync's draft right now, is that it's kind of unclear what they're going to do. With Legion, it's a 90% Pestilence Rhapsody lane mid, or a Rhapsody Puppet mid and a Pestilence bottom with another support. I mean, you pretty much have figured out which heroes are going to go in mid / short lane. So they can ban out junglers, or they can ban out suicides or supports that they want to take care of. Well, SG is kind of in an area where they're not really sure what's a ban. I mean, Swindle obviously knows what he wants to ban for his lineup, but it's kind of difficult to ban against a lineup that you really have no idea where they're going to lane or whether that MOA support or carry.
Yeah, it's definitely up in the air. So, as far as what they are banning so far, again, the Empath and a War Beast here, so kind of different tracks there, and at least just taking out powerful options, maybe some comfort heroes in the end, you could say. And there's a Scout final ban, so a couple of suicide options as well as the support thrown in there. Speaking of supports, Torture and Amphora already taken out by Sync Esports, so they're definitely very content that it is going to be a 2-2-1 setup here from Stake Arena, obviously, and it makes sense as to why. So it's just a matter now with that final ban what they want to go with, but if that would be the case, but
so yeah, now that SG's, they took care of the Scout. Obviously, it's kind of annoying to deal with if it's in a dual lane, and I think they kind of that could be hinting that SG's going to be probably running a dual lane, a long lane or a short lane. Sorry. So one suicide that would be pretty good against double or support as well as a Pestilence, probably in the lane, or a Puppet is Corrupt Disciple is really good just with boots first. Mm-hmm. They have that Kronos option; he's always available, but to be honest, he doesn't really synergize at all with the lineup that they have. So I'm guessing Kez is going to be playing something like a Corrupt Disciple, maybe a Grinix. I haven't seen that in a while, to be honest.
Yeah.
But definitely a really big option this game. And, of course, you have the standard Bubbles pick, which never bad, never amazing in both situations. But I'd really like to see a CD Suicide if they pick a support right here on SG.
There's the Pharaoh pickup, so.
The Pharaoh, okay.
That's what they go with instead. And we're on their side there, so Lip going to get a second chance here, most likely, on Pharaoh. Didn't work out too well last game for the most part, at least. So it's just a success that game. So we'll see how he does this time around. But now back over to Sync Esports. So what will the answer be here? And again, maybe that ultimate direction of where they're actually going to be going. They still got Keeper on the board even. They want to kind of adjust into that.
10 seconds.
Yeah, extra time for both teams even. Wow, we're getting down to very much the end
like
here. Kraken?
Don't like Kraken. Probably not Kraken.
Kraken? Bloodhunter.
I'm done. Okay,
we weren't even close.
Was not okay. So that means that it's probably going to be a Bloodhunter solo top, a Drunken dual lane mid, and now Hellboy just needs a suicide. And I'd like to see them get something which doesn't need that much farm, even though Kezu is one of the players that does really shine on farming dependent heroes. Playmaker this game, if it's going to be a suicide that they're looking for now.
Yeah. All right, again, they were probably pretty content on who they were going to go with, but they need to choose quickly. Whoa, is that a Jungle Solstice? I know this hero has potential for that, of course, so, okay. Well, here we go. This is what I was getting at. These teams kind of just preparing for the World on Finals, if anything, so, using this as more of a, practice series and more than anything. Without a whole lot being on the line, and I think it's safe to say this is kind of a showing of that, finally. We got a Solstice coming out here from Stake Green, as Andromeda is going to be the final pick from Sync Esports. So.
Yeah, I think now what Sync just kind of quickly decided maybe is that they want to man up with MOA and your long lane. But that MOA is a carry/utility, and Solstice is going to be in the jungle, so the best lane that they can put against that is a Puppet Master or Rhapsody, which is pretty good. But if you go to the other solo lanes, I'd give Bloodhunter an edge over the Pharaoh, and I'd give Junket Master a bit of an edge over that Pestilence. So Sync, they have the ability to just go all in and maybe even put out a Tempest aggressive jungle and just try to win every single lane, which is a bit too risky.
Yeah.
Or it's not a bit, it's a bit risky. Or they could lane some other way. Now, Kezi's playing the Bloodhunter, so I've never seen him play Bloodhunter, actually. I know he's played it a couple times, but I never actually watched it.
I don't know if we've seen it, because I don't know if we've seen it in a tournament match. I know he's practiced it before. I've seen a personal stream where he's, tried it out. Just kind of curious. But But that is going to be interesting, obviously. Again, it's the fact that he's playing it, so Flensmeister, sure enough, on Drunken Master here. His potential now, obviously, the buff to his feast definitely you would like to think maybe gives it even more of a chance for this to successfully happen. And State Green, I don't know. Is he? I don't know. This is tough because what is State Green going to do? Are they going to send the short lane Pestilence here and do the Puppet Master mid, or is it going to be Puppet Master short?
I feel like
I don't know.
It's I'm kind of confused about the lanes as well now because it got 200 pooled regen to begin with, so that's kind of hinting at the suicide lane.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, if it feels like if Kezu doesn't buy boots, or I don't know what he's going to buy. I've never seen the suicide, but like it feels like if he goes up against a puppet, he's not going to do too well.
Yeah.
Unless he does really well with blast hits. Once again, I haven't seen this here. It's just so hard to judge. But yeah, I think that Sync could be forcing Hellborn to put that puppet bot, or Legion to put that puppet bottom, make sure that they maybe try to win that lane, and that's going to allow Sync to just win mid. I mean, Andrew Amor is going to be a dual range, almost always wins against these pesty lanes, these pebbles lanes, these dual mid with a melee. So that could be the thinking in there. And then, of course, top lane's going to be pretty even between Drunken and Pharaoh, but I'd give a slight advantage to the Drunken Master. And you have the faster jungler in Tempest.
Do you?
So
faster jungler, huh?
Okay, I don't know. Maybe Solstice.
Well, look at Solstice's build, by the way. Double Iron Buckler. I mean, you don't see this maybe with like Legionnaire, but that's different.
That's true. I've played this here a couple times. I think that Double Buckler might just be a bit easier to tank creeps and farm with. I mean, you already have lifesteal.
Yeah.
With your E, so it's not like you kind of have sustainability just staying alive while farming creeps. It's not like a Legionnaire where you have to. You're dependent to stay alive, or you're screwed. With Solstice, I think you're fine. So maybe that's why he's going that, and he's not really caring about damage, and he just wants to stay in the jungle the whole time. But yeah, lanes are super unclear, so I just want to see what they're really going to do before I make any more call-outs.
I know people tuning in are excited. I'm excited because the Solstice, man. I mean, this is a unique hero, for the obvious reason, the night and day aspect. I mean, that 7.5 minute mark, every 7.5 minutes, keeping that in mind. So I'm kind of wondering what the timing is going to look like for that, and how that's going to have an impact here, which I'm sure it will with a hero like that. So it's going to be fun to watch to see how Minas plays Solstice here, and what his impact ultimately is.
Oh my god!
Wow! Oh no! Oh, no, this is interesting. Okay, so he plays toward his side to block the camp, but now he's in a lot of trouble. He's going to be completely surrounded. He tries to stagger away. There goes the holdo from Puppet Master. Going to cut the other direction. Impale comes out, and Flensmeister dies. So, not worth it, I think it's safe to say. And, in fact, Rhapsody is going to maybe counterward this. That would be the ultimate not worth it.
He gave the word to Solstice. Okay. So it's Minus' job to decide, but yeah, that was just unfortunate. They really needed to group up there, like take the high ground, but they do probably have the worst level 1. Andrew and Aura, so Tempest doesn't really do too much level 1. So I mean, they probably were too just scared to actually enter the jungle. They felt like they were going to die. And Flens went a bit aggressive, went for a risky ward, but did not work. And now we have some lane switch ups actually coming up from SG.
What I think the biggest thing to take from that, though, is that Solstice is the one that got the Bloodlust kill, by the way. So he's going to even excel that much stronger now as far as the start. In fact, what's being delivered, he's already got a hatchet on the way to amplify his damage output. So that's actually a pretty big deal, too, the fact that he was able to get that.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how much it's going to enhance his farm. It's just probably going to keep him in the jungle. But it will make him farm just a bit faster. But yeah, decent Bloodlust kill for him. And, yeah, so it looks like Andra started bottom, then she went mid, but it's like, okay, it's against the Pharaoh, so now she's going all the way top to help her friend Drunken Master. So SG, I guess, going to try to address this Drunken Master, maybe because of what we saw in Game 1, where Drunken Master without any farm in the beginning just becomes useless.
Yeah.
That could be a possibility. And, they realize that bottom should be in Chessie's favor, and, they might have to give up mid, but Limp should still be able to do decent in this lane.
Oh, yeah, you would think it's still a decent lane, of course. But so, I mean, we get an idea now. You're bringing up, I have no clue what to expect either. I mean, Blood Hunter versus a Puppet Master down here. So how is this matchup going to fare? Again, Blood Hunter, he got that buff to his feet, so he can activate it as well if he needs to, and kill the creep to heal himself up as well as get the creep kill. He's going to be pushed into the base tower right here, and he also got the pulled that regen on top of it. He has a hatchet, so I would think his success could be decent here, especially with the regen that he has on him. And so far, it's pretty even back and forth creep farm. So, but then there's the question of Solstice. I would think that he has potential to assist with ganks. I mean, the Blinding Rush, as it's called, a pretty powerful tool for assisting with the gank. It's a solid, just short duration stun, but on top of just some decent burst damage. So would you expect Solstice to maybe be active, as actually he is running over here right now. Yeah, there's the show. Here's a Blinding Rush, a pretty good distance on that. There's the stun coming on the auto attack and the kill on Akezu. So good answer, Panny. The answer was yes.
Yeah, I was just, I was also going to say, I hope that Minus is active. I think that's really going to benefit this lane. I don't think he needs to get insane farm. I think he just needs to make sure Kai'Sa gets locked down, because Bloodhunter is also another hero similar to Drunken that just has no farming ability.
Yeah.
Or no fast farming ability. So, they're going to shut down Kai'Sa. A really big kill for them, especially because now they're going to get, they have an advantage at bottom. They have, the Drunken Master did die before. So I think that SG lane this as best as they could, and this is really going to benefit them. Especially because Sync isn't, doing too much about the Solstice jungle, so, it is a good pick in this situation. They're not making him suffer at all.
Mm-hmm. So 3 minutes in right now, obviously the start looking pretty solid here for Staycrane, to say the least. How's our top lane kind of shaping up? Again, the adjustment eventually made, but Pestilence 13-2. You got Drunken Master 15-1 currently, so seems like a little bit the earlier times when someone else was able to get some good farm, but, maybe hurting a little bit now, but at the same time, the creep wave is pushed up in Staycrane's favor, actually. So definitely back and forth there. Your middle matchup, again, Pharaoh versus Master of Arms. Pharaoh's managing very well. 24-1, Master of Arms 18-1. So again, safe to say Olymp is doing just a fine job here in this middle matchup.
Doing extremely well. But this game, or this laning phase, I'd say that early game, it's really just it's gonna go down to which jungler is more active. I think that Slabs could get some really big ganks, and so could Minus. Minus already started, and actually he's gonna go for another one at bottom right now.
Yeah, they're going to be coming in right here. There's a Blinding Rush. Going to be putting out the stun. Does he have a Puppet Show as well? No, he already used it, actually. Whiplash proc coming out right there. I don't think this one's going to be enough damage. Yeah, Bloodhunter will survive in the long run. He got the Whiplash off, but just not enough. The other thing you notice about the Blinding Rush, again, it starts from a really good distance, too. I don't know what is the exact distance on it. It doesn't even say. I don't even know if it does, actually, but 1750 units away, it looks like, is when it cancels from even. 1200 range. Okay, there you go. Anyway, so that time, though, unsuccessful. But, hey, being active gets in a fallback and eventually back to the jungle goes Solstice.
Yeah, and, I mean, if you compare him to Slapped, he's losing in last hits a bit, but he's level 5. Like, that's really good for Solstice.
6 even,
4 minutes in. I mean, Tempest is probably one of the fastest junglers in the game, if not the fastest jungler. So it's not surprising that Slap's doing better. But in a situation that Minus is in, especially playing a new hero, I'd say it's going extremely well for him. And I just want to see Slap be super active in a little bit. I want to see him set up ganks mid or top, and start like abusing the fact that he's a Tempest with an ultimate up, and kind of using that force to mess with Swindle and Seafreak at top lane.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be fun to see how he progresses. As far as his item build, I don't know if you have an idea of what we should expect here or not, but I'm kind of up in the air as far as what we'd expect. Is he going to go maybe tanky, moving like an early Helm with the Black Legion here, or is it going to be, more of a Dawnbringer build-up? I don't know. I just don't know, really. I don't know if you have any better insight on that, but...
I'm going to research Minus's last game that he played Solstice right now.
Okay.
Let's see.
Fair enough.
On the fly research. Okay. He went. Okay. So the game actually ended in 18 minutes, so he actually didn't buy anything. So
well, that doesn't
help at all. But he could be going Outbones. He has a Glove of the Truth right now, so I could see Outbones being a possibility. Just going super farming and play more of a semi carry. I don't see him going tanky. I'd see mainly damage on him. Maybe go a Shrunken Head, a Firebrand into a Shrunken Head, something like that would seem pretty logical on the hero.
Yeah. All right, so we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. And again, for the sake of us seeing how he develops and whatnot, I mean, hope it's not a very, very quick game. But again, Staycrane, they are off to a quick start. But with that said, Tempest is doing a good job too, Slapped. He is level 7 right now, so we're getting close to that timing of going to be of assistance here, possibly in the top or the middle lane, and trying to set up some kills or even get that push going. You do see the top. I mean, where would you think it would make sense for Tempest to go here, top or middle?
Top probably. Oh, top actually. Speaking of top, Pharaoh just TPs.
Well, did he? Oh, yeah, he did, actually. Yeah, he's level 6. They're going to look for a jump, maybe on Andromeda. Tempest isn't really the closest right now, but no, he's not going to go for it, actually. He's like, went for a quick opportunity, thought they might have been doing something, but he's falling back. But as he's falling back, okay, no, they have a ward of sight that sees Tempest. So if anything, they're going to maybe kind of wrap around here. He's going to wait for the 6-minute rune. What is it going to be? Refreshment. And he goes back middle, actually. So, you know, not the best use of time right there in the end by Limp, but wasn't to be. But now Tempest is going to go towards the lane. It looks like he's got the Ring of Sorcery here. He's got a TP, and here we go into the lane. Meanwhile, Invis Solstice on top of Master of Arms. Will this lead to something? There's a Blinding Rush. He does have his Breath of Soul as well. That's the Pharaoh going to be dodged right there. Is he going to ultimate himself on Solstice? There's a Puppet's Hold. There's the Breath of Soul. It hits both heroes right there. The slow on a Master of Arms. He turns around the Fork Lightning. Will get killed. But at what cost right here? Down goes to Solstice, actually. And now Bloodhunter is forced to run away. He should be fine. So a 1-for-1 exchange. Stay Green got the kill first. But at least they get the turn kill on him. I know it's playing Solstice. So interesting exchange right there.
I'd say that Legion got a bit of a better exchange there, just because they also got the kill onto Probusk, it was a mid hero for the jungler. On top of that, Minus saw Probusk place the ward, so this ward should get countered pretty fast at the bottom river.
Okay.
I like the idea from Hellborn. It was Legion or SG just catching onto it or kind of going for the gank at the same time, but if that didn't happen, Tempest was TPing bottom, and they were about to set up a kill into the Puppet Master, and it probably would have gone off just because the Bloodhunter ulti is so strong early game.
True. Yeah, that hemorrhage causing some issues right there, no doubt. So, yeah, speaking of KZU again, he's about 280 gold per minute, actually. So, again, not doing too bad at all. He's finished the Steam Boots right there. Puppet Master is having the much better time, and now 415 gold per minute here. Being 2-0-1 definitely helps with the GPM that he has on top of the solid creep farm. So, he's got that Helm of the Victim already picked up. Whispering Helm, of course, going to be on the way. So the Gloves of the Swift do turn into just your typical Steam Boots here in the end on Solstice. So again, we'll wait and see if it still has a possibility of an Alchemist Bones or if it is actually going to be a different route here. Again, still sitting with the double Iron Buckler, I always find interesting too. But will he even make use of that, or will that just be eventually sell and get rid of it? Middle lane, it's almost as if they want to make something happen, but I think Master of Arms is playing just a little too passive.
I think that the Legion kind of got forced out of top now. Slapped is there, or Slapped is there in the area. Swindler couldn't really farm too much. They got lane control. They stacked and they pulled. So it forced them to rotate their top lane towards mid, and now they're going to try to initiate onto Master of Arms.
Yeah, here comes the follow-up. Will it be in time? Oh, the Impel. Did it actually hit? I think it did.
It did, yeah.
Okay, it looked like the damage wasn't the most, but anyways, it does hit. He gets a kill. But at what cost right here? Pestil's actually in some trouble. He gets launched backwards. Untouchable's activated by Drunken Master, chasing him down. Yes, the final auto attack to get the kill right there. And now Rhapsody might be in trouble. No, she's going to be just out of range. Pharaoh throws a rocket in there just in case. But that'll be the end of that chase. But still, they get the kill on the Pestilence. Now, while that was happening, Bloodhunter does get picked off at the bottom lane by Puppet Master. No Voodoo Puppet even necessary. I'm a little surprised by that. Was that actually a Solstice assisted gank?
Yep,
or? Okay, that makes sense then. But
that makes a bit more sense. Solstice ulted as well. So, that makes a bit more sense. Yeah, I was kind of curious about what happened there as well. But, Kaiser just not having the best time. And he's continuously going back bottom. He's going to get a nice cut. This is a huge counter ward because he's going to counter that lane ward from Chessie bottom, and that's going to allow for more ganks.
Yeah.
And they need to do that on Puppet Master. They need to shut him down a bit early. They don't really want to have him take off this game. Now, top lane, okay, it's fine. But compared to last game, this game you have Bloodhunter and you have Amoe, you have Drunken, and you have Tempest. All these amazing late game heroes. So I don't think Sync is really fearing that Puppet too much, but it's just a hero in general that you don't want to let take off with farm because a fast Shroud is still deadly. And with the Bloodhunter, it seems super easy to set up ganks.
Yeah. And speaking of Puppet Master, actually, he's in a poor middle. There's a Ward of Sight, though, here, placed by Puppet.
Triple Ancients.
Yeah, they're just doing triple stack agents, so yeah, no ganks really, just going for more farm. The other thing to note, too, again, every 7.5 minutes, so Solstice, it's obviously nighttime right now, so she's in that night form here, and, obviously it changes up her skill set to an extent. Her passive's now single target instead of AoE, more burst damage from it. The Shadow Dash no longer stuns, but increases her attack speed, so more of a, again, a different skill set, and the ultimate now fears on top of it all. So she actually also put the one level into her W now, Luminescence, as it's called in night form, I believe.
So I don't know if you know this, but is the damage difference at all on the Solstice ulti? Like during the, is it just a fear?
I want to say the damage is slightly better for nighttime. I'm not 100% sure on that, though. Don't quote me on that. Because I want to say, I did look at it, I want to say it was less for daytime, but again, I'm not 100% sure. So we'll see when at 15 minutes, try to remind of that and look at that when that is the case. But, I mean, that's the other thing, too. So we have our uncertainties of what to ultimately expect with this hero. I'm sure Sync Esports has similar uncertainties. You know, maybe they played against it, before, but it's not a hero, if anything, especially don't play a lot against, especially when you're in a tournament match and whatnot. So there's always that
I just checked as well. It is the same damage.
It's the same? Okay.
During the daytime, it slows a bit as well.
Yeah, so daytime it slows, nighttime it fears.
Okay, yeah, that's okay, and same damage. Okay, I'd still benefit. I think the nighttime just a bit more. I think Fury is a bit stronger, especially for 1.5 seconds. So that's a pretty big pickup for him.
Yeah.
Or a pretty big, time frame for him to go on. And actually, Pharaoh going to be going bottom, so they might want to bait Chessie down here. Actually.
Yeah, got a Water Rev actually spotting out a little bit here. I don't know if they would have seen Pharaoh though coming in, so this could get interesting. Actually, Bloodhunter. He's got the hemorrhage, of course, if need be, but Andromeda's just going to stack the Ancients in the meantime. So. Oh, yeah, they're going to go. Bloodhunter's going to be caught right here. Will this be enough, though? Port's coming in immediately, and Puppet Match just like, you might be on your own, bro. He puts the Voodoo Puppet out, and actually had a Drunken Master, though, but is it going to be enough damage? No, he's going to easily survive there, as I believe he even went out of range. Pharaoh's now being chased down. Protect him out to save the day, though. Pharaoh's going to be fine for now. The dot's not going to be enough takedown, and now Bloodhunter's kind of just running around in circles looking for another opportunity. Is no one dead yet, really? Oh, my God. One person might be dead, actually, as Solstice. He's going to go for the counter kill. No, he doesn't get it. Drunken Master barely lives as Solstice goes down. So finally somebody dies. And it wasn't the side of Stay Green. So Sync Esports enough to fight that off right there.
Yeah, it was SG had a bit of a problem actually getting behind the tower. I think it was Pestilence, Rhapsody, as well as Fair were on the left side, and then Solstice as well as Puppet Master were stuck on the right. So it was kind of a mixed fight, and it was in favor of Sync right there. I mean, they just had, when you tower dive, it's always in favor of the team if it's 5v5, who's base you're diving, obviously, or tower you're diving. So yeah, it was good for them. They got a good kill. Nice TPs, nice MOLT as well from Probusk, keeping his team alive, and yeah, they just played extremely well. And I mean, SG used every ult to that fight. It wasn't like they didn't get anything off. It was just Sync spreading out and saving the teammates as well. And Zfrick might be in a bit of trouble right here.
Yeah. Oh well, I'm gonna counter ward and never mind. Yeah, just. Simply going to beat down that ward of sight and be done with it, or not done with it, actually. In fact, the blood set's going to be activated on Bloodhunter right here. And guess what that means? Somebody's low nearby. Oh, yeah, where's that? Yep. So never mind. Can't see him anymore. Yeah, at least that red dot. But they're in a very tense spot right here. Solstice is not here, and he doesn't have a TP, actually. It's on cooldown. So the Legion team probably does not want to engage in a fight right here. Mainly because of that, if anything. So they're going to act like they might be trying to defend right here, but I don't believe Stay Green's going to go for a defense in the end. They're going to kind of just let this one fall. Oh, the timing from Chessie. Absolutely perfect. That's not easy to do either. So good timing in his part.
I mean, they get a bit more map control, I guess, with the vision. I think from the tower, taking it away from a Stay Green as well. And yeah, that was... I mean, it's one of those situations where you don't want to dive just to get the tower kill. It's just a bit too risky, even 4v5 in that situation, especially against a Pharaoh, just so easy to get picks off. And yeah, he's going to get that. So really well played by Chessie. I think he just finished the shot as well.
Yeah, I believe I saw that purchase. So that's going to be coming out here. And again, he's level 12, so that's a level 2 Voodoo Puppet even. And getting up there with the levels overall. Pestilence still a little bit behind as far as his farm goes. He's about 1330 gold now saved up, so... Wants that portal key, but going to need to wait a little bit longer before he progresses into that. And, okay, so Solstice, he has a Soul Scream ring, but now he's going to be building into a Mighty Blade here. That's kind of interesting, actually. Going to be switching it up. I thought so. Obviously, would have led towards maybe going for the Energizer, but in the end, going to maybe be prioritizing that Shrunken Head here.
Please don't be a nice brand. Yeah, I think it should be Shrunken Head.
Yeah.
One thing I've noticed is that on Hellborn, it's a completely different game now because Probusk is playing MOA. So like, who do they have to initiate with? They have to have that drunken man up, but is that really enough to catch the enemy team? Especially with like so much counter catch from Legion with like Pesty stuns and Pharaoh ultis and Rhapsody ultis. So I think they have to be in a situation where they have a lot of vision, because I think that Kezu needs to get a good ulti off, and I think it's a bit difficult actually for them to initiate this game compared to the other games where they have a clear initiator, they have a gauntlet hook, they have a pesty stun, they have a pebbles combo, something like that, which this game they kind of lack, and it might be difficult for them to actually start a team fight. They might have to be the ones who counter jump instead of jump.
Yeah. So we'll see how that takes about. But Solstice kind of just pushing out the bottom lane here. Again, it is daytime once again, so back in that daytime form here. Top lane, it looks like we got Sync Esports somewhat pushing right here, but one port already happening out. It's actually Drunken Master, though, coming in with the Invis rune. And if Pharaoh extends a little bit further, he might be in some trouble right here. But, of course, Drunken Master making sure not to get in range of the tower unless they're going to be jumping. You do have Rhapsody kind of nearby, but not really in the best position to respond. Portal Key just purchased by Swindlemelons on Pestilence, so again, they do have that now to work with. And if Pharaoh pushes out, but the mindset here on Limp, he just knows some of the spider sense is tingling, man, whether he maybe spotted the information for the ward or whatever, but knows that it's just not worth going too far out. So he is going to be fine. Double damage rune on the Master of Farms in the meantime. He's got the Energizer. He's got the Major Totem here, so probably going to see that Tablet of Command coming out. Some more of that utility Master of Arms build. Again, they got Drunken Master here to deal plenty of damage for them. And Bloodhunter, I believe, just finished his own Energizer. So a couple of Energizers going to be coming out here on the Hellborn side. Good old stacking that. Helm of the Black Legion just finished on Pharaoh in the meantime at the top lane. So we're seeing some earlier items now starting to be picked up here on either side.
Yeah. Yeah, Jesse's the only one who's actually completely taking off this game in farm. I mean, he's 500 GPM pretty much. So everybody else is getting their items when they pretty much need to. But Jesse, I mean, I don't know. He almost has, he's got a Mighty Blade 800 gold saved up. Actually, bottom lane.
Yeah, Solstice, he didn't stand a chance. Again, that's the hemorrhage for you. It's that tough spot. They TP in, but they could not get there nearly in time.
There might go though.
Oh, they actually will. Swindlemelons, he gets both, actually. Big impel set right there. That's the going to come in. Oh, and actually Master Bros ran back into it. The wall comes out, and Andromeda's going to be locked down. Now Master Farms, he's in a bad spot. Whiplash. Oh, the impel missed. It doesn't matter, though. Yeah, Master Farms, a poor decision to kind of go forward right there rather than trying to run away and spread it out. And in the end, a 2-for-0 exchange coming out as, oh, no, I guess Rhapsody was picked off there as well. So, and again, did die at the beginning. So I guess more so even a 2-for-2 exchange in the big picture. But Puppet Master actually coming back in. I don't know if Bloodhunter might be in trouble as a result of that. No, I'm just going to finish off the Ancients here and be done with that. So,
yeah, really, really risky stun coming out from Swindle. I mean, that was like high risk, high reward. Obviously, he had follow up even if he missed his stun. But to be honest, if he missed that impale and it just hit nothing, that probably wouldn't have turned out that well for SG. Probably would have gave Sync enough time to rotate, maybe get an Andro swap, have that team support kind of come in. Unfortunately, he did get 2 stuns. For Sync, those players died. Like you said, Probus, it looks like he maybe started a bit and ran back into the Wall of Mummies.
Yeah.
And in the end, it was a 2-for-2, so not the end of the world. But it definitely is in the favor of SG because they're just playing more active and they have the harder carry. But it is hard to say who clearly has like a better lead mid to late game, just because both these teams have a lot of team fight, a lot of late game heroes. And
yeah.
I don't know what to expect from Solstice either.
Well, Solstice, again, I've also been noticing this. His Illuminati ability, the W here, especially in day form, it's an interesting ability because it could be seen one of 2 ways. One, it could be an enhanced farming ability. It seems like that's what Midas is using it for. He's actually just putting it down on the creep waves. He's putting it on the Ancients whenever he's farming. But it's also a great scouting tool. It's just that matter of how you want to ultimately use it. It's at level 4, it'll eventually be a 20-second cooldown. So, it's only 70 mana cost at the most. So really not the most at all. But my point I'm getting at is that, again, I've only been seeing him use it to farm with. I haven't actually been seeing him using to scout things out with and kind of get some vision. So I am curious about that, if that's just maybe a looking over that simply or just wants to just always keep it for farming. In the end. But the situations like when he's pushing bottom, he's just pushing top there, and, you think maybe you could use it to kind of scout things out off to the side. But in the end, from what I've been observing, again, he's just using it for the damage purpose. So,
yeah, I think that the nighttime as well version of the W is much stronger. It's like it gives you vision.
I think it's like a very quick, and then it only lasts like a second or something like that, but it gives you like move speed and attack speed increase, I want to say.
At least I'm reading the skill again, the Learnatorium.
Okay.
And the thing is, if you don't catch any heroes, it doesn't give any vision. But like if you catch like if you find a hero, it will give you vision of that area of if any hero is like walking around for 8 seconds. Is what it says.
Oh, okay.
So
I can't say I was
I
right.
mean
about
that's a very like that's a lot of time, 8 seconds. I mean, imagine a push later in the game. There's no wards up. That pretty much acts like a ward of sight.
Yeah.
And that's huge. So if Minets can play it correctly and get a lot of vision in an area, it's definitely going to pay off. But as you see right now, top lane going to be pushed, but Hellbourne doesn't really care about that too much.
Yeah, they're just fine-tuning Kongor, and that's exactly what they're going to go for. So this is definitely the favorable exchange in favor of the Hellbourne team, especially if it's only the one tower kill. Now we'll see if we can keep going. Or okay, one port already coming mid. So they're not. They're going to have to kind of defend and maybe clean up some resources. So this is definitely in favor of Sync Esports right here. I think it's safe to say. They're going to get the much better of this situation here. And that means now a token of life on Drunken Master. And again, unlike the first game Drunken Master, he is having a pretty good time. And now it's not taking off. I mean, hell, look at that GPM chart. Wow, I'm actually surprised. Hey, I was not expecting that. Puppet Master, 552 gold per minute compared to Drunken Master's only at 322. So I thought Drunken was actually doing a lot better and even closer, but never mind. Puppet Master is really, really ahead here in this game.
I mean, he has the Shrunken Head. He has the Assassin's Shard. That's core item on Puppet. You don't. You're expected to get that around 30 minutes in. So, regardless if Hellbourne has a token, Legion is still feeling pretty confident with the farm that they have on him. And they might even look for a jump here. They're probably waiting to get somebody else but Drunken. But the problem is that they have that Andrus swap at all times. So whoever they focus now with that Puppet, especially I think that Andrus swap is a big counter to the Voodoo Puppet if he can get out of range. And swap somebody out of that. It's probably going to be more effective at level when he's level 11 and has a level 2 ulti, but they're actually going to find a pick here.
Oh, they're going to go for Solstice. Going to get anything off. Yes, he gets the Drunken Head off. Will it matter? He will survive in the end. Drunken Master chasing. No. Protect him out. It is a little bit too late. Z-Freak goes down in the background. There's that swap from Andromeda saving Tempest. Pharaoh will get the kill with Puppet Master, but at what cost right here? Puppet Master going to be pulled in, but the Hellfire was procced. It was off. It stuns Tempest. Puppet Master going to stay alive. He puts in the auto attacks. He gets the one kill. They're still chasing. Bloodset sees through the stealth. He will be taken out, and now Pharaoh's in trouble. Two versus one. Make that 2v2 as Pestilence also here. But remember, Drunken Master even has a token of life on top of all this. The silence comes out. Pestilence went for the Impale Stone, but a beautiful silence from Bloodhunter preventing it. Drunken Master goes down, but it doesn't matter. Token of life brings it back up. He stops Pharaoh. It's a genocide in favor of Sync Esports. Drunken and Bloodhunter, the survivors. And now they're going to be pushing out the middle lane. What a fight that was in the middle right there.
Yeah, that was, to be honest, SG played that pretty damn well. The only unfortunate thing is Minot's literally got nothing off that fight. And a huge Hellfire pocket. I mean, it was Hellfire pocket. It was back and forth, but it was I really thought it was well played by Chessie manning up last second as well, and it paid off for them. I mean, they got a good amount of kills. It looked to be a 3-for-3 in the beginning, but Kezu and Funz did a very good job manning up. It was actually funny because Kezu actually silenced the Pestilence, who then gained, I think he dealt around 200 damage, and he also got a Gore proc in, so he actually did take the token odds. And they did lose the token, but if you're Sync Esports, you're definitely really happy with that exchange.
Yeah,
that is with the.
Go ahead, sorry.
I'm just okay. Yeah, well, just get
that's a dead Rhapsody, even shrunken headed, but. Sorry, but I was going to say there, that's actually, Solstice was there. You saw the W from Solstice right there, the Luminescence. And, okay, so attack damage and movement speed bonus. And then area of the hero. Okay. Anyways, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, the Pestilence, again, that's what makes this an interesting ability when and if you use it from Bloodhunter. And you are right. It did give him the extra damage. That Gore proc was even that much more powerful. But it did stop from the Impale being used, which would have hit the 2 heroes. And speaking of Pestilence, actually, holy crap, look at the burst damage right off the bat. He gets the Impale off, and actually Master Vaughn's going to be picked off the Soul's Blessing, or wow, Solstice Ultimate going off in the background, helped him for the kill, but now Pestilence is going to be picked off, and Bloodhunter runs away. He didn't get a heal from that, actually, so he's still about half life growth. They actually has a health potion active, and not often you see that in the midst of a fight this late, but Observatory coming into play right there. The chase still on as the Drunken Master goes in. The Voodoo Puppet, the swap from Andromeda, not out of range of the Voodoo Puppet, though, and he still goes down. The Voodoo Puppet, too much damage. Rhapsody Ultimate going to be coming out. Bloodhunter going to fall right there. Andromeda most likely going to be picked off. Master of Farms, he comes into the fight, though. He will help finish out Puppet Master, as Tempest also here doesn't have that Elemental Void. Could have a good opportunity for one, but it's still on cooldown for 30 more seconds. But again, the fight will be finished. So, I mean, this game has just taken another level here. These last couple of minutes, it's just fight, 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 man. So, whew.
Yeah, that was a very even fight. It's hard to say who came out on top there. They did use the buyback out from ProBusk, so I probably give it maybe in a bit of the favor of SG, and they both traded their carriers. But that fight was without a Tempest ulti, and that was kind of difficult for Vlapt and the rest of the team to really do much because SG was clumped up so many times that fight. So if a Tempest ultimate was obviously up, and maybe they calculated it, but it felt like he was super close to having it. So it kind of felt a bit risky with SG clumping up a bit. But at the same time, really good Rhapsody ultimate coming out, and it allows them to man up for a couple of seconds, and that really helps them win team fights on SG in those situations where it feels like they might be surrounded, but in the end they kind of break through and get a couple of kills to start out the fight.
Yeah, I mean, again, Puppet Master, he is doing a lot of damage, but obviously at the same time, especially with all the Shrunken Head being up, he tends to be pretty fragile himself, and they've taken advantage of that. So I want to clarify, by the way, it's actually, Solstice. Okay, yeah, he's going to fall back before this chase is successful. There's actually War decided for Stagger, and I wonder if Stinky Esports is going to pick up on that. They have a Rev 4 down, but it's just out of range. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they look to kind of want that elsewhere. Limp, in the meantime, actually is Invis over here, but they're not going to catch him. He ran by a Rev 4 initially, which is what kind of alarmed them, but he was just out of range by the time they got over there. Yeah, I was saying Illuminati for the W for Solstice. It's actually Illuminate. Is what I definitely meant to say. So, anyways,
we all make mistakes.
Me rarely, but it does happen. Pharaoh, okay, he knows something's up now. He's like, wait a second, creeps are attacking me, and I'm invis. This means something. Tempest, Oh, he put the hold on the Elemental. In comes Pestilence, though. It still might not matter. Trigger Master gets here. The Astral APO. Tempest will get pulled in and finally to death, but now Puppet Master, he's being chased down. Trigger Master untouchable is up. Pharaoh's here in the meantime. Master of Arms puts that goo down, putting in the auto attack. See the barbed armor coming up. The rest of the Pharaoh in, and now Master of Arms is caught, but he has a quick mummy wall or tablet, going to be fine. In the background, another kind of split fight right here. Holy crap! Andromeda just melted right there to that Voodoo Puppet coming out from Puppet Master, so that was a quick kill. And Drunken Master going to end up falling back himself with a stagger, so a couple of big kills coming out for Stay Green. At the end, despite a little bit of a mishap there to begin that with the Puppet Show. But it doesn't matter, they get the kills, and now they're going to work their way to pushing the top lane, so.
Yeah. So really good initial kill onto Zalap, even though it looked a bit like after he missed that Puppeteer's or the Puppet Show, it looked like it was kind of getting to be a bit risky and close, but does get the fast kill. So yeah, another fight in favor of SG, and they're doing what they need to do, and they're playing really aggressive. I mean, they have the heroes to get the picks. They have that Pestilence and the Pharaoh. Yeah. Just so easy to get pick-offs with, and that Shroud onto Puppet Master. And there's not really much Sin can do. They just need to maybe try to get some map control now, get a Bound Eye, and fight their way back into the map control, and then allow themselves to actually farm, because SG's kind of slowly starving them out right now by farming everywhere.
Yep. 3,000 more gold saved up on Solstice. There's a Symbol of Rage purchased in Puppet Master. So he is even that much stronger now, that much more scary. That's the Symbol effect, as well as just being that much more tanky, nearly 2,000 life. That's without Strength Steam Boots. I think it wasn't an Insanitarius? I believe, yeah, Insanitarius just purchased by Solstice as well. So, yeah, these next tier of items most certainly coming together here for that Legion side.
The hero has a lot of skills which give him attack speed and attack damage. Like his W gives him attack damage as well as movement speed. His Q gives him attack speed when he charges. So, Insanitarius seems kind of logical.
Yeah.
It can be like a huge damage buff. I actually wouldn't mind seeing like a shield breaker now on mine. It seems like it would be decent, and he's actually he's not gonna find anybody over here. But I mean, he does 187 damage with his. Okay.
Oh, they find Blood Hunter. Team of the Master Call comes out right there. Voodoo popping on top again. The burst damage. So much every single time. There goes in that swap out from Andromeda to help save Tempest. But in the meantime, Master of Arms gets caught up to the side. The Breath of Soul. Whatever that's called. Well, now it's called Lunar Judgment. Anyways, the ultimate from Solstice going out and even assisting on top of it all. So 3 heroes are dead just like that. It went from not going to find any jumps to all of a sudden they get 3 kills. And now there's a tower kill. So it's safe to say Stay Green is kind of like they were that first game. They're in that spot now of just one after the other. Momentum's building up. Drunken Master going to do his best to hold right here. He pops the untouchable, and that was good timing because they were just about to jump in, but now into the tower we go. And there's no buybacks here. Bloodhunter or Master of Arms. This is probably going to be Rax. I don't think they can defend this.
Yeah, I mean, they have people up in time, and they use fortification. 10 seconds on to MOES up there. Allegiance is just a bit risky. They have 2 ultis down, so they probably don't want to make too big of a commitment over here. And yeah, they get a tower, so good for them. They get a couple kills. They're going to go back. Now they have a 12k gold lead, so I mean, they want to make sure that they actually have that gold lead by buying items instead of just saving money up.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you save money up, that lead really doesn't show at all. So Pestilence gets a Shrunken Head. Puppet's probably going to go for I'd say a Shrunken Head, Savage Mace seems pretty good. Again, Juro could be another option. But yeah, they just got a lot of money stacked up. Even Limp has 3.3k.
Yep, he is. He's having a lot better time this game than he was last game. 6-1-9 on Pharaoh. How about that? It's a very impressive hero kill score there, and they have good assistance for the team this time around. Abyssal Skull coming out for Solstice. Again, just more team support items. Daegrin especially really likes to stress that. Demonic Breastplate is going to be eventually purchased by Drunken. He actually purchased the Warclef and sold it, so he's kind of just gauging where he's at here with the gold. Firebrand.
Oh, Firebrand.
Coming out. I don't know if I expected that, but...
It could be for the Bloodhunter Silence.
True,
To get it off. So, that's probably what makes sense the most. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else in specific that would really cancel. So I guess that's pretty much going to be it. It's a decent pickup, I guess, with the Geobane, so... Gonna go for that. He's dealing enough damage already. He's gonna be staying alive in fights, so why not just make sure he gets the most out of his skills?
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's any other pickups from Hellborn. Zlapt, I feel like, he's had a really struggling game. He hasn't really farmed too much. He's got Astrolabe Tablet, Mana Ring, which is items you're gonna have around 20 to 25 minutes in the game. But he can't really farm anywhere. They're ganking like crazy, and you can even see Legion's wards in the Hellborn jungle. Mm-hmm. They have 2 inside the jungle, and it just allows them to have map control in that area. So SG has, I think, right where they want them right now.
Yeah. You see bottom side, Hellborn team definitely falling back as they noticed they were coming on over, so not going to linger around long enough for that to be a negative effect, but Conqueror is up, so any second here, I'm sure Stay Green if they feel comfortable with it. Now, this Ward of Sight is going to be wearing out here that support has placed, but they're not going to look to go for Conqueror or anything like that just yet here. Going to kind of get control around, it looks like, as Pestilence, he is invis currently. They see Drunken Master middle. They go for a jump down there, but in the meantime, bottom push is going to happen, and they're going to try to get that, continue that control, of course, pushing the bottom tower. And that would be the last out of Terra, but yeah, support gets picked up. Does the match call comes out? Actually, no, Shrunken Head comes out, and there's a turn. You saw him right there, the lunge just a little bit too late, and now Drunken Master needs to be a little careful. Swarm comes out right to the Pharaoh. Well connect. Can he stagger away? Maybe. There's the Illuminate. And I think should be fine. The Tabas as soon as Pestilence goes in, but it's just an awkward spot. And he eventually falls, so good attempts, but wasn't to be.
This is going to be Rax for sure. No buyback onto either of the players with that, and they might even concede. Okay, so
there you go.
Just got to the point where SG was out of control, and for them to win that game, they need a big Tempest ultimate, so probably not going to happen. It's with so many cancels and no Shrunken Knight onto him, so yeah. Well played by SG.
That it was, and the Solstice coming through. Also fun to see, of course, and definitely just a different hero like that, and Minos definitely played it very, very well. And again, clearly a jungler that can not only get some decent farm in the jungle, but